So really appreciate everyone joining today for another Alignable webinar. Just a little housekeeping before I get started here. Please keep yourselves muted. Please contribute in the chat. It always gets pretty lively. This is going to be about a 35 to 45-minute presentation. Then we're going to have a Q&A at the end. So any questions or thoughts that you have, please put them in the chat and I'll be sure to address them at the end. Also, just want to remind everyone that the complete recap of this entire presentation, the downloadable presentation itself, the whole video, everything will be available on the Hoot Host YouTube channel. You can just go to YouTube and just search for Hoot Host and our channel will come right up. We also always share it right here in the Hoot Host community group here on Alignable, and we'll also share it on our blog for everyone as well. Today, website and marketing success for coaches and consultants. This is the second webinar in a series of webinars that we're doing focusing on just specific industries and how to help business owners in their industry basically just grow their business and just market smarter and really get the most from their online presence. So with all of that said, let's go ahead and jump in. Again, this presentation is packed with a lot of professional guidance and recommendations. So don't worry, the complete downloadable presentation is going to be available at the end, along with the entire video recap. So today we're going to be exploring how to leverage website optimization and marketing strategies specifically for coaches and consultants to grow your business online. So you can use this presentation. It is packed with a lot of professional guidance and recommendations, specifically helping folks in this industry to really just get the most from your online presence. So today, topics that we're going to be talking about are website platforms that are really meant to, help coaches and consultants specifically, to really have the most impactful online presence that they can. We're going to be talking about the Google SEO Essentials, kind of what goes into SEO and laying down that foundation of having a strong online presence with Google. Kind of an extension of that, we're going to be talking about Google Business Profile, the businesses that qualify for a Google Business Profile, the importance of that and really how to get the most from it. We're going to be talking about kind of an addition also to SEO because it is kind of like a little SEO secret weapon. We're going to be talking about effective blog management. We're also going to segue into social media and email marketing. And then we're going to get into a lot of like marketing strategy today. We're going to talk about the digital consumer journey and lead generation, something that's very important for a lot of coaches and consultants. And then we're going to kind of like tie it all together, basically, showcasing how all these things come full circle. But the most important thing is kind of having basically a system to like manage your online presence and manage all of your online marketing. So we're going to talk about the importance of a CRM and marketing integrations into your website. Really important. So one more time, I'm just going to repeat myself because there's a lot of people jumping in right now. This is going to be about a 35 to 45-minute presentation. Then we're going to have a Q&A at the end for everyone's questions. Please keep yourself muted and contribute in the chat. Any questions or thoughts that you have, I'll address them at the end. The complete presentation and this entire video will be available on the Hoot Host YouTube, on our website, and right here on Alignable in the Hoot Host community group. But with all of that said, let's go ahead and explore how to improve optimization and conversions specifically for coaches and consultants. The first big topic that we're going to talk about today is website platforms. So, we kind of just decided like we were putting this presentation together, and I said, you know what, let's just focus on website platforms that are just going to work best for coaches and consultants. Like, we all know there's a ton of different website platforms that you can build a website with, but let's just talk about the ones that are going to be the best for a coach or a consultant to really just have kind of like that maximum online presence. So today we're just going to focus on WordPress and Wix. These two platforms are honestly probably the most popular amongst Alignable members, especially. But let's go down this bullet point list here and talk about why and kind of the reasons, that, it really just makes sense for a coach or consultant to have a website based in these two platforms. So first off, and this really applies, I should keep in mind for everyone, whether you're researching right now to build a new website, or if you already have an existing website, take a step back, have an objective view on your website and ask these questions. The first thing is here, picking the website platform that meets your business goals. So, think about exactly the sort of desired actions of your website. What do you want to get from your website? And then just make sure that the platform you're using or that you're going to use is going to, be sort of like the most streamlined process to achieve those goals. The next step here is ensuring that all of the marketing tools, which we're going to talk about later on in the presentation, they actually integrate with your website. You don't want to have to be going through, jumping through a bunch of hoops in order to, make the tools that you're going to use integrate with your website and have everything, talking and integrated the way that it should. So just make sure that the platform you're going to use for your website works with all the tools that you're, looking to grow your business with. Especially for coaches and consultants, we're kind of, we're doing things ourselves, or, maybe we have a small team, but for the most part, most of us are independent business owners. So things like ease of use and updating, super important. My business, Hoot Host, we support a lot of coaches, and it's, it's always the first thing with every coach that we start with. The number one priority is always ease of use and easy updating and blogging themselves as well. So, when it comes to understanding, just like going in and managing your content, changing, any images or media, and just being able to easily go in and like update things, post to your blog. You want a platform that's just going to be like straightforward and simple for you to manage. So again, that's why WordPress and Wix are kind of the two that we're going to talk about a lot more today. And then things like, your search engine optimization, especially, for a coach or a consultant, it's kind of difficult to, especially from, level one, like to grow your online presence and have that really big, strong online presence, and just get found on search engines by the right people. But platforms like WordPress and Wix, we're going to talk about this in a second a lot more. They really help to streamline a lot of the search engine optimization aspects of, just getting found more and growing your website's footprint. And they make it easy for even like the most non-technical person to like kind of figure out. So it's another reason why we're just going to focus primarily on these today. And this fourth bullet point here is just kind of one that I always throw in here, especially for a lot of coaches and consultants that we work with. Keep it simple. You don't need all the unnecessary bells and whistles that come with a lot of the other website platforms. It's great to have like a lot of motion and video and cool things going on. And if that is kind of like, if it fits with your brand, then that's totally fine. But for the most part, most coaches and consultants, they just need like that clean, professional online presence with like strong messaging and the story brand that kind of, just speaks to your audience, speaks to the problems that you're, trying to help people with. So you really don't need a lot of the bells and whistles. You just need like that clean, professional online presence that's going to be impactful. It's going to meet a lot of the standards that we're going to talk about today. And it's just going to, really help you kind of, present yourself in a much better way. So WordPress is a really great platform when it comes to the search engine optimization conversation that we're going to get into a second. Certainly for blogging, that's what everyone knows it for, right? The thing with WordPress, though, both of these platforms, pretty much any website platform, comes with a few caveats, though. So with WordPress, it's probably likely that if you're going to go down that road, you're going to need some professional help to get the most ideal results, because WordPress does require maintenance. You have to set up with a hosting company, and not all hosting is created equally. So with WordPress, there are some hurdles and kind of like learning curve that you have to figure out. So it's as much as it's a fantastic platform that I literally use and recommend every single day, there are some kind of like steps in the process with that. On the other side of the fence, but I should say, when you do everything with WordPress, you're going to have top tier, top of the line online presence. On the other side of the fence, you have Wix. Wix is a proprietary platform. It's not open source, so everything's contained within their service. Kind of the downside of that, of course, is, with WordPress, you can move it between different hosting companies and kind of like you own your website a little bit more. With Wix, you're just using their service, and everything's kind of wrapped in. So you don't have to worry about hosting and setting up your email and all that type of stuff. And certainly things like maintenance and updating plugins just doesn't really exist with Wix, because they kind of handle all the technical stuff for you. But you are kind of just using their service, and you can't really take your website elsewhere. Kind of the thing I always say is like, they're a huge billion-dollar company for a reason, is because it's an awesome service and people don't really leave them. But if you care more about like kind of having your design and your presence and everything, and wanting to have flexibility, then WordPress might be better for you. But the really great thing with Wix And the reason why so many coaches and consultants use it is because it just makes everything so easy for you. You don't have to worry about any of the technical stuff. You can just focus on your messaging, your marketing, and really, just kind of like just the best representation of yourself, not get bogged down with all the technical stuff. And when it comes to a lot of the optimization conversation that we're going to talk about today, they just make integration with Google so easily. They actually partner with Google. So all of the key integrations like Search Console and Google Analytics, they're just built right into your Wix website. And then Wix, it's really underestimated when it comes to like blogging and ease of management. It's amazing. You can build these beautiful blogs with Wix, and their drag and drop interface for easily updating things themselves. I tend to find that most, especially coaches and consultants who are doing things themselves, they love Wix, and they just really prefer Wix because they can just jump in and just quickly grab things and move them around and everything. It's a lot less kind of rigid and more kind of more kind of focused towards like web developers the way that WordPress is. And then with Wix also, when we get into the marketing and CRM conversation in a minute, a lot of their stuff is all just built in because they're really just creating this great all-in-one platform, especially for small businesses and certainly coaches and consultants. So a big part of the reason why we're kind of focusing on these platforms and the reason why they are the most popular platforms among small businesses and especially alignable members is just like easy optimization and kind of like streamlining a lot of the technical stuff for you. So let's move the conversation forward here. Let's dig into some of that optimization conversation. Let's talk about the Google SEO Essentials. So this is kind of a term that I guess I kind of coined myself. Basically, it's kind of describing just the foundational level of search engine optimization. What you need to ensure that your website is effectively being crawled by Google and being indexed on search engines and just getting out there. We all already know, like a lot of search engine optimization services, they're super expensive. They take time, and it's a big process in order to really like get out there and be ranked #1. And it would be great to be ranked #1, but it's not necessarily even like really something that matters for most businesses, especially if you're a small business or a coach or a consultant. It's very difficult to be ranked #1 on certain search queries, and it's not even really like you have to. As long as you have this foundational kind of level of search engine optimization, which you can achieve in WordPress and Wix pretty easily, you're going to start to drive organic traffic to your website, and you're going to start to find the right people coming to you, and that's really all you need. This, in combination with some of the other things that we're going to talk about, it kind of just creates this like perfect sort of online presence where like, it'd be great to be #1, but you don't necessarily have to be. As long as you have this foundation in place, you're going to start to drive the right people to your website. And ultimately, you're going to start to grow your business. So the Google SEO Essentials are these important configurations of every page and blog post of your website. If you're using Wix, they have the SEO Assistant. It's this great built-in tool that just makes all of these SEO configurations really easy for you to figure out. If you're using WordPress, I definitely recommend Rank Math over any of the other SEO tools. If you're using Yoast or all-in-one SEO, like they're fine, but Rank Math will really kind of help you streamline everything and kind of figure it out in a much easier fashion. But basically, when you have every page and post of your website effectively configured for these settings, you're just going to have that really powerful online presence. And again, like it's just a strong foundation is kind of like step one. You're not just going to jump to being #1 right off the bat, but you have to start with a strong foundation. So things like your title, description, and image attributes for every page and post of the website. When you're going through your blog posts, your pages, let's say you're in WordPress, they give you kind of like this perfect little checklist of like, when you're going to make a blog post, hey, make sure that the title is set correctly, the description is set correctly, and basically just never publish any blog post. And it's the same thing with Wix too. They give you this perfect little checklist of items. Don't ever publish anything until you go through the steps, and they actually give you like, make sure you structure this way, and make sure you enter the keyword into the title of the post. Once you get all the little green check marks, then you're safe to publish. And these are things that literally take like a few minutes to do sometimes. Again, they're not like big technical, leaps that you have to figure out or anything. But if you just, follow the steps, they literally tell you exactly what to do in order to get all those little green check marks. Once you know you have that, then you're safe to publish, and you know that that blog post or that page is going to get out there on Google, and that's how you're going to have the most, just growth basically from all of your pages. Because you can publish tons of blog posts and tons of content, and we're going to talk about the importance of content and messaging for coaches and consultants. But if it's not getting indexed and it's not getting found on Google, then the content is basically worthless for you, right? So using tools like Rank Math and WordPress or the Wix SEO Assistant, you can do all the titles and descriptions and image attributes. You can set your focus keyword, and then more technical things like your XML sitemaps, your robots.txt, and your structured data. These are some of those additional little check marks that come up on the SEO Assistant. When you go through these, and especially when you first are getting set up in the website, if you're using Wix, please go through the SEO setup checklist, or if you're using Rank Math or Yoast and WordPress, please go through the initial wizard setup. So many times I go into a website and everyone goes, oh, I don't understand why, we're not getting ranked well on Google. And I go into their setup checklist and they didn't even fill out the form. So the setup checklist is basically just kind of like these basic it's a questionnaire basically, this basic information about your business that Wix or WordPress are taking this information from your business and they're structuring all of the kind of like technical configurations and sitemap of everything for Google standards so that your website will get ranked and be indexed and get out there. But if you don't fill out these things about your business and you don't just set up these very basic configurations about your service area, the name of your business, and the proper preview and everything, then you're basically just shooting yourself in the foot and you're not going to get out there. Another really important one here I just want to mention, for the especially like blog posts, we're going to talk a lot about blogging in a minute. The configuring of your social and share settings. I literally just had someone talking to me about this yesterday, and they said, I don't understand why I share something on Facebook and the preview that comes up on Facebook is completely different than my blog posts. Because when you go to publish a blog post or a page of your website, you have to click on the little social and share item and make sure that that preview is going to properly represent the content on your website. This is super important because you don't want people sharing your information on Facebook or on other social platforms, and it's not properly representing your service or properly representing your content. It's really just about kind of like reputation management and just properly representing what you do. So just taking that 30 seconds just to make sure that that social and share setting stuff is set up correctly is so important. Some other really just kind of like key things I just want to mention here before we move forward. You can inspect all of your pages, either through Google Lighthouse or just right in Wix. They have the inspect option where you can see the page speed and the actual status of all the indexing of all of your pages and blog posts. Really important. Every time you log into WordPress, every time you log into Wix, go to that inspect option and just make sure your site speed and all of the pages and blog posts of your site are indexed. Really important, and it just takes 2 seconds, and it's just a way for you to consistently always know that your stuff is up to date, it's out there, and that your things like your accessibility and your page speed are meeting Google standards. And when you audit the website, they show you any potential issues, and they literally just give you the remedy of how to fix it. So again, really straightforward and easy especially with WordPress and Wix, to kind of manage these things yourself. I'm going to just remind everyone here to go over and watch our SEO webinar where I talk a lot more about this and specifically how to do it. But you can scan your website with Google Lighthouse and it tells you the performance, the accessibility standard, kind of gives you like a grade school score for these 4 key metrics. And it's really important to make sure that your performance and your accessibility especially are over 90%. Everyone, please write that down, very important. And just something that's really huge here, regardless of which platform you use or really any other website platform as well, everyone here, make sure you go to userway.org and download the Userway app. You can, for Wix, it's available right in the Wix app market. For WordPress, they'll give you a little snippet and you can just easily integrate it right into your WordPress website. This is so that your website will meet ADA compliance. Really important to do this. This is for people with a visual, hearing, mobility, or developmental disability. It's not only kind of a legal requirements, but think of it also as kind of like a social responsibility. We want everyone to be able to engage with our business and actually kind of just be able to just work with our website. But it's also just really important to make sure that we're meeting these compliance standards, because accessibility is kind of part of how Google interprets your website. So you want to make sure that you're meeting the highest standards. And another really great plugin too is called Cookie Yes. You can get this plugin on, you can get the plugin directly on WordPress, and you can get it right in the Wix app market as well. Cookie Yes is great for GDPR and CCPA compliance. This is like privacy rights and everything. So again, Userway and Cookie Yes, make sure you have these both integrated into your website. Very, very important. To really kind of take the SEO conversation way deeper, I definitely suggest everyone go over to our YouTube channel, find the Maximize Your Impact with Google in 2024 webinar. This came out in January or yeah, actually it was January of this year. We kind of started the whole year off with a webinar about SEO, blogging, the digital consumer journey, and now we're kind of like tying them all together into these sort of like industry specific webinars. But for way deeper dives on all of these subjects today, we have webinars where I just focus on SEO, and I just focus on really getting the most of your performance and your accessibility and things like that as well. Let's kind of just move the conversation forward here though. Let's talk about kind of a really important aspect of kind of maximizing your footprint on Google. Let's talk about Google Business Profile. So right up front, a very important thing to kind of mention here, Google Business Profile is only going to work for certain businesses. If you're a coach or a consultant and you work from home, you don't have a physical location or an office, you won't qualify for a Google Business Profile. But for those of us who do, if you have an office that you work out of, let's say you're, maybe like a Reiki coach or something like that, and you have a studio that you work out of, then you can use that location to have a Google Business Profile. This really just applies for businesses that, your customers or your clients actually physically come somewhere to meet you. But if you do qualify for it, the Google Business Profile is one of the most impactful tools for a coach or a consultant to really just kind of maximize especially your local position in your community. So if someone goes on Google and they're looking for, a coach or a consultant just within your local service area, you're going to come right up on that search listing. You can have reviews on there, and you can really maximize the Google Business Profile to help you find leads and help you really just gain a much bigger customer base. So really, we just talked a lot about kind of technical SEO stuff, and we're going to talk about blogging and things like that in a second that are all really important for kind of growing your online presence. But if you can get a Google Business Profile, this is almost like just as important as your website itself. It's a huge feature that will really help you find a lot more business. So for those of you that do have one, please make sure your Google Business Profile is up to date and completely filled out. All the time I go into Google Business Profiles for businesses, and there's a little ring that shows you how much of it is filled out. It's never in the green, it's always in the red, and they're wondering why it's not kind of maximizing their business for them. Make sure everything is completely filled out and accurate. Also, when you're in the Google Business Profile, you can actually select your local service areas that your business really targets the most. Make sure this is filled out, because people in those areas, when they're looking for someone like you, that's how you're going to really target them and be found much more. Using the advanced features like having your services listed out, and certainly the messages feature as well. This is huge because if someone's looking for a service provider like you, and they come across your profile right there from the Google Business Profile, they can start a direct message with you that goes directly to your phone or directly to your email. So right from a Google search result, you have leads potentially reaching right out to you. It's a huge feature and total game changer. And really the most important factor of the Google Business Profile is reviews. We all know the importance of reviews, and certainly happy customers kind of advocating for our business. Very important. We're going to talk about that a lot more in one second. But most people now, when they're researching a business, or even an individual coach or consultant, they're going to go to Google first to kind of just look you up and see if they can trust you and feel like they can engage with you and do business with you. So if you can get a Google Business Profile, drive reviews to that, because the more reviews you have there, it's full circle. It's going to help you grow your business. And just one more thing that is very, very important here, the updates feature. I talk about this constantly because it's just such an underestimated feature. It's kind of like Google Business Profile is its own social network. And that's kind of how I want everyone to think about it. You use the updates feature, and it's kind of like having a little mini blog feed right there on Google, where you can take your blog posts, your social media posts, whatever, and updates from events you've held, or recent stories or anything like that, and you can just consistently update this. And the more you do it, the better. For businesses that we support, I tend to do it a few times a week, and the activity kind of helps you raise your authority. People see these updates in related searches, and it just kind of all helps to kind of filter more of the right people, targeted people, and just drive more organic traffic directly to your profile, and ultimately to your website and to your business. So it's a huge feature. Really, if you do have a Google Business Profile, think of it like it's its own social network. Very, very important. Kind of on that note, though, let's kind of turn the page here and go to our next big topic, which is very similar. Let's talk about social media and email marketing. For coaches and consultants, we know this is huge, right? Like this is your, for most coaches and consultants, it's your number one sort of avenue for outreach. So, you can use social media to increase awareness of your business in your local service area and even beyond. And you want to, but you really want to, use social media strategically, because kind of the thing with social media is, it's kind of, it's so wide open, right? But for a business owner, we care about data, right? We want to understand where people are coming from, and we want to collect information so that we have, leads, and we can, convert people into customers. So it's great for a coach or a consultant to kind of, have your presence, put your face out there, showcase your services, and really get your messaging out there. That's a, great purpose for social media. But we want to also drive social media followers to your blog posts, to your marketing landing pages, and to your booking pages ultimately, right? So that we can capture leads, and we can start to get information in. So it's really important. Don't just have a link tree that links people to your other social media or links them to just like the homepage of your website. Have that link on your social media, on your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn. Have that link go to a targeted landing page, or go to a page where right away they can make a consultation with you. You want to always be focused on capturing information and getting the most from your followers on any social media platform. So kind of just because again, grabbing all of that information, that's how you're building your list, that's how you're building your leads. Then you can take that information that you've gained, and you can wrap that into your email marketing. So this kind of showcases how you can use social media and also your Google Business Profile as well to drive people in, collect that information, wrap them into your outbound marketing, and that's really how you're starting to have a much more effective churn and more effective campaigning. So especially for coaches and consultants, use the industry networking and review websites. I'm talking about Alignable, LinkedIn, and honestly, if you're a coach or a consultant in finance, business coaching, and certainly a lot of creative or marketing or anything like that, websites like Upwork as well, great place for a lot of coaches and consultants to find potential customers and work. Then, also using the traditional social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and even TikTok now, of course, is huge. Using those for more of just kind of like your presence and, putting your services and really showcasing your success out there. Again, driving all of those networks to a targeted page. We're going to talk about this a lot more in the digital consumer journey, but driving them to a targeted page to collect information. So then we're building our email campaigns, and we're putting out special promotions and a regular newsletter. We have, maybe seasonal outreach or project updates, basically just, event updates, letting people know, as they come in, that now they're part of a community and you're actively engaging and, really keeping your audience, kind of growing with you. And again, for the places, whether it's a Facebook page or the Google Business Profile, you also really want to focus on driving reviews, sharing customer stories, and really just showcasing your success. It's a huge part of coaching and consulting is, sort of your presence, right? So that's, just a really great way to kind of think about your social media and how it also kind of ties into email marketing, and really kind of use that in a way that is more effective than just sort of like blanket posting and things like that. So I kind of have like a hierarchy when I think about what are sort of like the strategies and tools that are kind of like the most important when it comes to sort of like outreach and growing your business. As much as social media email marketing is really important, let's talk about the real secret weapon that not enough coaches and consultants really focus on. Let's talk about effective blog management. So this really is your like SEO and Google secret weapon. And a lot of people really don't understand the power of blogging. So just please don't underestimate it. Take this very seriously. Blogging consistently on topics that relate to your location, your services, and what you do. This increases your relevance and your authority on Google. And ultimately, what's going to do is drive more organic traffic to your website, and it's going to get you found by the people that you want to be found by. So, really honestly, the way I think about it is like your website and really blogging are kind of like the top of the pyramid. And then from there, social media and things like that are really impactful as well. But blogging is so important. So a couple of bullet points here. Some of this I'm going to kind of break down. I'm going to take a few minutes here and break this down because it's really important for everyone to understand. First big bullet point here, follow Google's helpful content algorithm. So this is a newer sort of like strategy and basically guidance from Google on how they want us to publish content and the type of stuff that they want us to put out. They don't just want us making blog posts that are like, salesy and, pitching and kind of, talking about why we're the best in the world and all that type of stuff. What they want you to be doing with your blog posts is putting out information that relates to what you do. And, so it's very much targeted, and you can talk from a position of authority, and you know what you're talking about. It's your business and your services. But you just basically are looking to answer people's questions. So, you're a coach, and, think of like the sort of like, your 3 to 5 services that you do, your offerings and your programs. Now think of kind of like topics that come from those services, and what are like the typical questions that a new customer or even an existing customer might ask, and write blog posts about those questions. Look to answer people's questions, that they're typically coming to you with, and they go, oh yeah, I'm interested in that, in your offering or in your program, but like, what do I get out of it? Or what do I have to do in order to get involved in that? Or just the questions are always endless. But so again, you have many topics to blog about, but just think of those typical questions that relate to what you do, and then you can answer those questions. And the more that you do this over time, Google's going to say, hey, look, they're putting out quality content that is actually helpful to people. And basically, so now we know we can trust this quality content. And the more that you're doing that, and you're just kind of like hitting those same topics over and over and over again, you're going to build what we call topic authority, and you're just going to rise in the ranks on Google, and you're going to start to drive more people organically to you. So kind of the thought process around like how to write this content is kind of an acronym that Google created. It's called EEAT. It's your experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So your expertise and your experience is kind of like, your professional expertise, what you do, you've done this for all these years, this, you know this business, this industry, and kind of what you bring to the table, right? But you need to also talk about your sort of like your personal experience and your personal stories. And you need to kind of like find a balance between those two, and just put out like personal stories within your blog posts that are, just kind of showcasing, things you've done in the past, and, things that, people tend to deal with. And, when you find that kind of balance of, showcasing your professional expertise, sharing your personal stories, that's how you're going to write like more effective content. And again, doing that in a way where you're just helping people and answering questions and things like that. That's how you're really kind of writing content effectively, and you're kind of meeting Google's current standards. And the more that you're doing this over time, you're going to build your topic authority. So that authoritativeness, basically score, you can think of it as like a score. Google's going to trust your website more, and you're just going to start to rise in the ranks. So following EEAT is kind of like a writing principle, your professional expertise and your personal stories. And the more that you focus on just your topics and just, it's totally fine to just, keep hitting the same topics over and over and over again. You can always find so many different conversations and different ways to kind of, relate back to what you do. The more that you do this and you just put out more quality content like that, you're just going to rise in the ranks and more people are going to find your business. And then again, the power of the Google Business Profile and your social media. Take those blog posts, don't just leave them on your website, share them on the Google Business Profile, share them on your social media. And that again, is just going to drive more people, into the website where we can then, start to collect information from your website. And again, going back to the SEO stuff, title, description, image attributes, your site maps, and making sure that the pages are indexed. Very, very important. Make sure that all of the little technical SEO things for all the blog posts that you put out, get all those green check marks, either in Rank Math and WordPress or the Wix SEO Assistant, and just, get those out there. Very, very important. So yeah, again, the more that you blog consistently, target topics, tell your personal stories, and just make sure that your blogs have all those technical SEO standards configured, you're going to rise in the ranks and you're going to get more people to find you. Again, I put blogs way high at the top of the list as far as importance goes. So just a quick reminder here, again, we started this year off kind of targeting a lot of these conversations and going really deep. Today I'm kind of just going over all of them to give everyone kind of a highlight. But if you just want to learn a lot more about blogging, go onto our YouTube channel, find the Harnessing the Power of Blogging webinar. We just talk about blogging, and it's a really big conversation. So let's kind of talk about kind of strategy here for it's basically kind of a marketing conversation, but it's also just about really starting to get the most from the traffic that you receive. Because again, when I was talking about in the beginning, you don't have to be number one and drive thousands of people to your website, even if you're getting small numbers, as long as you're really getting the most from the people that are coming to your website, either through blogs or through social media. We want to just kind of guide people in our website, have our website structured in a way that, we're really kind of capturing information and converting people into customers. So let's talk about the digital consumer journey and lead generation. So the digital consumer journey, kind of more traditionally known as the buyer's journey or the customer journey. It's basically steps in the process that describe how a typical user is kind of interacting with our website, especially coming from places like search engines. So it's really a means of understanding how, visitors are finding us and then interacting with our website and, really understanding basically their intent, which is, huge. And your website being structured in a way that we can guide their intent to our desired actions. So the journey is made up of 5 stages. It's discovery, consideration, action, retention, and advocacy. And when you understand this marketing strategy and you kind of structure your website and even your social media and your email marketing around this concept, you're going to grow your business. It's a proven method that, is, if you research either the buyer's journey or, nowadays it's kind of more called the digital consumer journey. There's a lot of conversation out there about this. And again, we just did a webinar just about this about a month or 2 ago, where we take a deep dive into all the stages. Very, very important. So step 1, the discovery stage. This is kind of those helpful content blog posts that we're putting out. Maybe we have some marketing landing pages where we're targeting, a certain location that's nearby us or an event or things like that. This is where people are finding us from a search engine or from social media, and it's kind of level 1. They just found us. They're discovering, who we are and what we do. So they're coming into those blog posts. Again, very important to make sure that those blog posts or those marketing landing pages, they're just kind of helping people, giving them the information they're looking for. They're not getting a big sales pitch or anything like that, because that's just going to increase your bounce rate. People are just going to leave you. And ultimately, Google is only really going to put stuff out there that's following, the newest algorithm. But what you can do in those blog posts or those marketing landing pages is you can kind of subtly, link people over to your primary service pages, or what we call pillar pages, the big information pages of your website. And the way that we really like to structure websites now when we're talking about the digital consumer journey is when someone goes from discovery over to a service page or a program page or a pillar page, that is now your opportunity to start to talk about yourself. What do you bring to the table? Why is your business special? And the most important thing is right there on top of that page, having a lead generation form, so that right there, they're learning about your program, your service, and they go, oh, okay, this is great. Like, I came in from a blog post, they answered my question, I was willing to learn more, and I went into the website, and now I see, oh, okay, they do all these things that I'm kind of looking for. I'll engage with them, I'll fill out this form. And you don't want to go scrolling down the page for it or anything either. It's got to be right there at the top of the page, make it real easy for people. So when they go from that blog post over into that program page, that service page, now they're in the consideration stage. They're considering doing business with you. You give them that option to engage with you, and that's how you're going to start to drive lead generation. But if they do fill out that form from the email marketing, or if they just decide to just move forward into kind of like the third big step of the traditional buyer's journey, leading us to the action stage. So the action stage has really got to be like the entire intent of your website. It's the desired action that we care about. It's the whole reason why our website is basically operating online for us. It's getting a purchase, getting someone to sign up, getting someone to book a consultation with us, or even just filling out our contact page. That's totally fine too. But that's got to be the third step. If they fill out that lead gen form and they, get into our email marketing needs to be driving them towards that purchase or towards that consultation or towards signing up for our program. Or just from that pillar page or program page, we just want to push them forward to make that consultation with us or fill out our contact page. That's the desired action of our business. So when you're doing that right, those three steps, that's really how you're kind of, guiding people correctly to convert leads and to really grow your business. But let's talk about the last two steps here, because they're just as important and they're often really overlooked. The traditional buyer's journey, you might hear people talking about that. It's really just those first three steps. But the reason why now we call it the digital consumer journey is because of the importance of these final two steps. So the next one here is retention. This is really, basically just keeping happy customers, right? But your website, what is a website, right? It's a great question. A website is a communication tool. And when you do communication correctly, both for new customers or for existing customers, you're going to be, kind of using your website as an effective communication tool to keep customers happy. You do this through support pages, through making communication really easy, whether it's through, a chat bot or having, plenty of options for people to easily get in touch with you, making your website just as call to action focused as possible, just real easy to get in touch. FAQs, certainly. The more that you are effectively, supporting your new or existing customers and giving them easy communication with quality support, that's how you're going to have great retention. And then, when you do this effectively, and now you have, plenty of happy customers and, you're growing your business, naturally what comes next, right? Advocacy. People start leaving testimonials for you. They go over to your Google business profile and they're happy to leave you a 5-star review. They'll leave you one on Facebook. They'll leave you a recommendation on Alignable. The more that you do this, you have that advocacy, and it all comes around full circle, because basically think of it like this. Someone came in the discovery stage, right? From a helpful content blog post. You answered their question. They went, oh, okay, great. They said, yeah, I'll learn some more about this service. They went into your program page. They went, oh, wow, this business, this coach, offers this program. It's like perfect for me. This is what I need. They went to the action stage. They actually booked a consultation with you and they signed up. You made them a happy customer because the program was great. And, they were really excited about everything. And they gained, this great insight and this great experience. And then they went and left you a review. The next person in the journey who comes in from the discovery stage, they go, whoa, look at this coach or this consultant. They have all these great 5-star reviews, the testimonials all over the website. Their Google business profile is like, got all these great, stories and everything on it. That's going to encourage them to want to sign up too. So it really is full circle. The more advocacy you have, the more, the more, conversion of customers you're going to gain as well. So the digital consumer journey, super, super important. Just to understand how to properly guide people kind of down this little roadmap that you'll see here. Definitely go over to our YouTube channel, watch the webinar just about that. I take a huge deep dive on each individual stage and I really break it down so much more. We talk about how to effectively kind of structure everything on a really technical level. So if you want to take a deeper dive, check that out as well. So let's kind of like tie all of this together with our last topic here today. I know I'm running a little long, but these conversations are very important, especially for coaches and consultants. Let's talk about sort of like the house that puts everything all together, and really makes you kind of like market smarter and manage your business much smarter. Let's talk about CRM and marketing integrations. So, from the website platform that you're using, you're structuring everything SEO wise correctly. You are blogging. You're using a Google business profile if you qualify for it. You're working your social media and your email marketing as best you can. You're structured everything for the digital consumer journey, but kind of none of that really matters if you don't have sort of like the brain in the middle of all your work here. You can see from this little diagram here, you have your sales, your marketing, your support, and your feedback, kind of touching on the digital consumer journey conversation we just had. But what's in the middle of all of that? You need a CRM. A CRM is a means, it's basically software that helps you manage your customers, manage your contacts, manage your leads, build pipelines, manage your email marketing, even have forms that can collect payments for you. The forms on your website for that lead generation that we talked about, or your contact page. You want all of that information to all trickle back to one house, one foundation in the middle of it all that really just helps you manage your business and keep everything organized in one place, right? Organization is huge. It's so important. So a CRM and marketing platform integrated into your website will supercharge your conversion efforts. So let's just talk about kind of like, these bullet points here. All of those lead gen forms we were talking about in the pillar pages, your contact and sign up forms, you want all of that information to trickle back. Once that data comes in, now we have a contact list, right, with all of our email marketing. So we have, we're able to build our email newsletters and, have lead magnet signups or landing page signups. All of that information comes in, and now we can turn it right back around and be putting out effective email campaigns. For some folks in the chat here, if you're a coach or a consultant, let's say you want to have a program sign up right on your website where someone can just fill out a form and process a payment. You still want to collect all that information, have all that run through your CRM. Additionally, things like chatbot integration and your calendar booking, a huge one for all of us, right? Coaches and consultants especially. We don't want to, and Calendly and things like that are fine, but it's way better if you can get a CRM that offers a calendar, like built right into your website. So even if someone just fills out your calendar and makes a consultation with you, that information is still collected, and then boom, they're wrapped right into your marketing. So huge. All of these various information collection tools will help you build effective marketing campaigns. They'll help you manage your contacts, and it's just going to help you grow your business much more effectively, rather than kind of doing it in a disorganized fashion. So really, really important. Just make sure that, and there's so many different platforms we can talk about in the Q&A if anyone has any questions. There's Hoot CRM, there's Monday, there's Pipedrive, there's HubSpot. There's a lot of really great options. We just did a whole webinar for Alignable. It wasn't through the Hoot community group. It was for Alignable. Hey, Laurel. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second, because I realize everyone's going to ask, which one should I use? Our other webinar took a much deeper dive on that, but we'll talk about that in a second in the Q&A. So let's just do a quick little reminder and recap here. Then we'll jump into our Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to put that in the chat. So again, when you have an easy to manage but professional website that meets those SEO and modern standards we were talking about, plus has all of your marketing tools integrated, you're going to build a way more powerful online presence for your coaching and consulting business. That's actually going to help you grow your business. It's not just going to be like this static, online brochure that's showing off your offerings and your programs. It's actually going to help you grow your business online. So the platforms that I tend to really recommend, especially for most coaches and consultants, is WordPress and Wix. They're going to help you drive results, just in a much more streamlined fashion. Make sure with those platforms that you're using their SEO tools. Follow the Google SEO Essentials that I broke down here today. That's just going to help you get indexed and rank much better on Google. If you have a Google business profile, make sure that you keep it up to date and manage it regularly. Use that updates feature, use the messages feature. It's going to help you gain much more from Google. Use the networking sites like Alignable and LinkedIn. Use traditional social media like Facebook and Instagram. And definitely always make sure that from them, you're driving people to some type of collection interface so that you can grow your email marketing as well. Blogging plus the digital consumer journey, that equals success. Remember that remedy, that will really help a lot of you go a long way. We help a lot of coaches and consultants with their online presence. As soon as we set them up with that structure, they start just blowing up right from there. And again, just having everything feed back to just one place in the middle, sort of your brain to organize your business and market much smarter. Make sure you're using a CRM and you're integrating with marketing tools. So with all of that said, I think now will be some time for some questions. Please just put them right in the chat. Keep yourselves muted, otherwise it starts being everyone talking over each other. I saw a lot of chat activity, so I'm going to jump back into that. These are conversations we have constantly in the Hoothost community group, and we're doing monthly webinars on a regular basis. So really appreciate if you're not a member of the Hoothost community group, make sure that you join us. And kind of a little bonus reminder here. Join the Wiser Way Weekly Connect. We do these every Friday. It's not like this where it's me giving a big presentation. It's more of just an open forum discussion, helping people with their website and marketing problems. This is every Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Definitely hope everyone will join us for that.